It's Tuesday and it's time for Scraptastic Yarns. My name is Jane. I want to welcome all the new viewers and all of those of you who have stuck with me through thick and thin. Alright guys, I got a little something from Miss Seta, and it's beautiful. And I'm going to pull this out. I hope you didn't see the address. If you did, oh well. This is a cotton yarn. It is Lena Pew Knit Art. And it is the oxygen yarn. There it is. Oxygen. And look at that pretty color. This is 100% cotton. And there are two of those. And I'm thrilled beyond belief. And then she sent a little coffee mug in the Star Trek colors, of course. The little galaxy there on the outline. And it wouldn't be Seta if she didn't send some tea. And she sent a chai spice. Chai spice is one of my very favorites. This one I have never seen before, so I'm looking forward to trying it. It's the turmeric mango ginger, so I'm looking forward to trying that. And of course, her true lemons. And then two little tea candies. Thank you, Miss Seta. That was fun. Your month of giveaways with the Star Trek thing. I really enjoyed it. Star Trek is one of my all-time favorites. Of course, my all-time favorite Star Trek besides the original is the one with Janeway. Absolute favorite. I do have a couple of finished items. And a dishcloth. And then another smaller face cloth. And now I'm going to consider these finished, even though I've not woven in all the ends. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to weave in the ends. We get at Prayer Shawl many times when people donate their yarns, they donate rug yarn as well. We have been looking and looking for ways to use rug yarn. One of our gals who has been on the Appalachian Trail hiking most of the year, with the exception of last month she came back to Florida to take care of her father and then to move him here to Pennsylvania. She came up with, she does this with all of her rug yarns that she has, that she finds in her stash. She makes scrubbies. And actually the scrubbies she makes goes up over the hand, and she doesn't crochet, she knits. So she knits a piece that'll go around her hand, finishes up the top, weaves in the end, and then she can slip her hand in it, put the soap on it, and scrub. Well, we are looking at doing that, but we are also looking at turning this into a fundraiser for Prayer Shawl. So we started, a couple of us have started making scrubbies, and these are with the thermal stitch. I have a couple of different sizes in that light blue, and then a couple of sizes in that pretty hot pink, and then another one that I started. Just as soon I took 4 skeins home, and just as soon as that happened, we got a full garbage bag full of rug yarn. I mean, you could almost say that's a holy moment, sort of. Now what we're looking at doing is actually, those of us that are knitting, crocheting these things, will give a donation for the rug yarn to the Prayer Shawl Ministry. Take that out, then we'll sell, and of course the proceeds will go for the prayer shawl ministry. Legally, that is the best way to do it. We did talk with the CPA, and they did tell us that is actually the best way to do this, because otherwise we could get in trouble, because we are a tax exempt organization, and being a tax exempt organization, you don't want to really make a whole lot of money. You do want donations, but that is what the CPA and the lawyer told us that we really need to do, so that's what we're going to do. It works either way, folks. I started another dishcloth, and I had started this. Every Sunday night there is a concert at a local church. It is the Lamar Township Campground. No, Lamar Lighthouse Campground. And they have this facility for kids and families to come camp and still continue to have Bible study and those kind of things, worship study. But they do a concert series like this. Starts the beginning of June, runs usually till September. It's every Sunday evening. So this past Sunday evening we were there listening to this group. Avenue is their name. And it was a wife and a husband and their best friend. And they were just perfectly wonderful. But they brought a guest. And this guest, I believe his name was Alex Zeibold. I may not be correct. I'll have to look and see. I did try to get some pamphlets to get information. He is a pianist. He has done a lot of concerts with Disney as a concert pianist. He has also written a lot of songs, but he is a Christian, has a Christian ministry. He did this beautiful rendition of How Great Thou Art on the piano. Stunning. However, during that service, everybody's phones went off. There was a tornado warning. We're all like, pfft. If you gotta go, you might as well go in the house of the Lord, right? So, but someone went to go check the sound on his piano, and it sounded like lightning hit the piano. It did not. He continued to play, but it threw the speakers off, threw the breaker on those, so they had to walk back out and turn the breakers back on for the speakers. But you know, it was one of those where like, woo! But it was a lot of fun. And he played a couple of pieces as well. And he was just an amazing pianist. Kind of reminded me of the Mr. Berger that used to play with the Gaithers. The pianist there. Just beautiful. It was stunning. It was amazing. So I just thought I would tell you about that. That was one of those things that you kind of go, ooh, scary. But I started the dishcloth then. Now I also have another red, white, and blue blanket that I have started. And this is it. It's a nice big wide blanket. I think it's about 52, maybe 54 inches across. This pattern is a pattern by, it is called Quick and Simple Striped Blanket Crochet Pattern. And this is done by daisycottagedesigns.net. It's listed as an easy blanket crochet pattern. And there is the rendition of the blanket on the website. It's a beautiful pattern, very easy. It's basically you do 4 rows. You repeat the 4 rows, but the 2 rows are almost exactly alike. And then the 2 last rows are almost exactly alike. They use a granny stitch, and then they do a double crochet in here, and then you'll change your colors. Very neat the way that they did that pattern. That is it for those kind of things. Now I have a couple of acquisitions. You know, I got the cotton cream. I decided I probably need 2 more. So today I went to Scraps and Skeins in State College, which is our local reuse store. And I purchased about $33 worth of yarn for the prayer shawl ministry. But I went over to Michael's and I saw these 2. And I thought, okay, and they had some others, you know. I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh well, $7.99. It's gonna be $7.99. 99 cents each. And I kind of wished I'd gone to the back and got more because they had a whole lot of other colors. But I didn't, you know. What can I say? But Scraps and Skeins this week, they also do an online shop where you can buy fabric. So I picked this up. I reserved it online. Yes, those are knitting sheep. It is supposed to be, I believe, 2 yards. Yep, it's 2 yards. And I got that for $8. Excellent buy. Excellent. And then I stopped at Joann's because, you know, they have the clearance. And there was another reason I stopped at Joann's, and I'll tell you that in a moment. But I saw these little gnomes, so I grabbed some more. I have some more of that coming anyway, but grab some more. The reason I had stopped at Joann's was not for fabric. Really, it wasn't. It was to look for yarn. Their clearance yarns, and I believe they had all of the Lion brand yarns for 30% off today. And so I went looking for some clearance yarns. Because, you know, I told you about getting that chunky yarn, bulky yarn, when I was hoping for baby yarn. We had a very generous gift from Michelle Chapon. Thank you, Michelle, for your generous gift. So I went looking for baby yarn. And because I have to watch the finances, I refused to pay full price for baby yarn. So I had actually gone there looking for baby yarn. Nothing was on sale. So that generous gift is going to have to wait for another week or so to spend. And boy, do I love spending other people's money. But, so there will be baby yarn that I will show you once I do get that purchased. Because, like I said, I'm not willing to pay full price if I don't have to. You know, for the prayer shawl ministry, just not going to do it. I don't do it for myself unless I absolutely have to have it. No, ain't going to do it. So, that is it in a nutshell. Next week is chemo week for Thomas again. So, who knows what that'll bring. His, tumor markers last week were 3.2, so that's excellent. Normal, top of the range, is 2.5, so we're taking it as a win. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for that. Other than, did you know the rug yarn comes in a hank? Comes in a hank. You actually have to undo it and wind it. Comes in a hank. I didn't realize that when I first pulled it out, opened it up, and I was like, really? It's in a hank. But that's it for that portion. Now, a couple of you had asked me about prayer shawl, wanting to see the items that are donated. And I will tell you, this past week, last Wednesday was prayer shawl. And I had every intention of filming the finished items. But this is what had happened. Monday, because Thomas had chemo last Tuesday, we decided to set up the yarn out in the outer room, and I think I have a video, and if I do, I'll put it here. Alright guys, these are some of the yarns that were donated over the past month for prayer shawl. And then we have some items back there that are on the one hand cart are needed to be finished. And I showed you those earlier. And yeah, this is the table where we will put the items when they come in. We have some people who have already dropped off some items. We have one tangled mess for our detangler. And that's about it for now. I'll show you the aftermath once everybody shows up and has deposited their goods. If not, here goes the rest. So we had put out all the yarn around the entire room for people to take for this month. And in the meantime, people started coming in. There were probably about 17 people that stayed. And as part of my Scorched Earth giveaway, I had bought like $32 worth of yarn, of the $1 yarns at Dollar Tree. So part of my Scorched Earth was I put 6 those skeins in an organza bag, and we drew lots so the people could take them home and do whatever they want with it. They didn't have to bring them back for prayer shawl. They could use for towel toppers, whatever they wanted, give it away, whatever. So it was a lot of fun. You know, we always like to have a little fun while we're there. But we also had about 5 large black garbage bags. 2 of them were the 45-gallon ones. Contractor bags full of yarn donated that day. That was a little shocking of prayer shawls. So we had to find a place to put it because Al-Anon meets in the back room. So we couldn't put it back there, so we had to clear off some spaces. Needless to say, Monday, we also got 2 black bags of yarn donated. So Monday normally would have only been there about an hour and a half, setting things up, getting everything ready, but we were there for 4 hours. Wednesday, we were there for 5 hours. Normally the girls are there about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and but we had to sort the yarn, do some things, put it away, find places for it. So we were there 5 hours, and I forgot to film the finished items that were turned in. I can tell you there were a lot. I can tell you there were 2 full-size, twin-size Afghans turned in. There were 29 regular turned in. There were 32 shawls turned in. There were 28 sets of hats and scarves. There were also 5 mittens that were turned in, 3 hats, and then we had another 6 scarves on top of that. What else do we have? 7 baby sweaters and 2 baby blankets. That's all I can tell you. I really did mean to film it. It just didn't happen, you know. So I apologize. Alright, are you ready for a little what in tarnation? Oh, I hope so. You know my husband's a gamer. And this is to all the gamers in the world. Sealed copy of Super Mario 64 sells for a record $1.2 $1.56 million. Copy of a 1996 game, Super Mario 64, still sealed in its original box, sold for $1.56 million, breaking a world record that was just set 2 days earlier. Heritage Auctions, based in Dallas, said the Nintendo 64, the first game in the Super Mario series to feature 3D World, sold for $1.56 million on Sunday, just 2 days after a copy of The Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo sold for a record $870,000. After the record-breaking sale of the first game in the Zelda series on Friday, the possibility of surpassing 1 million on a single video game seemed like a goal that would need to wait for another auction. And sure enough, here it came. They were shocked to see that it turned out to be the same one. We're proud it's been a part of the historic event because it was Nintendo 64 games. The Zelda game had beat a record that was set in April when a copy of the original Super Mario Bros. Game from 1985 sold for $660,000. So those of you that game, if you still have any original games and they're still in their boxes, don't break them open. Michigan man finds 116 bowling balls under his back stairs. A Michigan man demolishing the back landing of his home made a surprising discovery under the stairs. 160 bowling balls. David Olson said he was taking apart the stairs behind his Muskegon home July the 1st when he noticed a spherical object in the sand behind some cinder blocks. That was one of the bowling balls. I didn't think a whole lot of it. I was kind of assuming maybe there were just a couple in there just to fill it in. The deeper I got, the more I realized it was just basically an entire grid work of bowling balls, making up the weight in there. Olson told the Detroit Free Press. Olson said he continued to dig in the ensuing days and discovered there were 160. The homeowner said the house was built in 1959, while the Brunswick Bowling Products Factory was still operating in Muskegon. The factory produced bowling pins and other products before the company relocated its operation in Mexico. Olson said former Brunswick employees contacted him on social media and said it was a common practice for workers to take unusable balls home to use as a substitute for gravel or sand in construction projects. He said the balls are not good for bowling anymore, but he plans to use them. I plan to keep a lot of them, like some of the nicer looking ones, to do some edging. My wife is really crafty and wants to do some projects. Olson said he donated 8 of the balls to a local church to use in a bowling ball cannon at a big roast, and his stepfather is planning to use some of the balls as legs for some custom-built furniture. My grandmother worked at a marble factory and an upholstery factory in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Well, it was really more like... Sorry, the battery died. Anyway, my grandmother worked in a marble factory in Arkansas, Fort Smith, Arkansas area. And she used to have coffee cans full of marbles. And out in the parking lot for the upholstery company and the marble factory, they used the broken marbles, cracked marbles, like gravel. So I just thought that was rather interesting. Side story. This next story comes from my home of the youth. I used to live in Roswell, New Mexico. And in the elementary school, and even my kids when they went to the elementary school, there is a zoo called the Spring River Zoo. And every year, we'd always go for picnics, the end of the year picnic, to look at the zoo animals, to ride the train, because they have a train that goes all the way around the park, feed the geese, ducks, mean little critters, and also to ride the carousel. There was a beautiful carousel that was made by a carousel maker in the 1919 that had donated that, and it was some items from like the 1800s. We used to ride and, you know, try to catch the golden ring. Anyway, bear escapes habitat at New Mexico Zoo. Climbs to top of enclosure. A bear being temporarily housed at a New Mexico zoo escaped from its habitat, but was recaptured safely after she climbed to the top of her enclosure. The city of Roswell said Winnie, a female black bear, being temporarily housed at the Spring River Zoo, while the bear enclosure at the Alameda Park Zoo in Alamogordo undergoes repairs, found a small hole in the chain-link fence at the rear of the enclosure, and Winnie ripped it open large enough to fit through. Winnie is a smart bear. City spokesman said Winnie did not wander from the area. She just climbed up to the top of the enclosure. She was just sitting on top and she didn't go any farther, spokesman Todd Wildermuth told the Roswell Daily Record. Wildermuth said officers from the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish tranquilized Winnie and the workers returned the bear to her enclosure. She said a veterinarian examined the animal and determined it was not injured. The zoo is taking some steps now to shore up and reinforce the enclosure so that we don't have that type of thing happen again, Wildermuth said. One of my sons, unfortunately, when we went to go see the beefalo, and the beefalo at the time were housed with goats, one of the goats rammed him in the stomach through the fence. So he's not a happy camper with goats ever, no matter how cute they are. But and then I have another son while waiting for the train. Some little kid pushed him, and he has a nice big scar right here where the kid pushed him into one of the benches and it cut his eye from here to here. And we immediately left to go to the emergency room to get it fixed up. So that park has a lot of memories for me. Alright. Colorado wildlife officials seeking bear with plastic bucket stuck on its head. Makes you wonder how these bears get into these predicaments, doesn't it? Wildlife officials in Colorado said they are trying to locate a bear photographed with a plastic bucket stuck around its head. Colorado Parks and Wildlife said the bear has been spotted at least twice with a plastic bucket stuck around its head. Most recently Thursday morning on the Grace Miller's deck in Camino Bosque, I think. Said the bucket doesn't appear to be causing the bear any pain or affecting its mobility. However, the bear seems able to eat and drink perfectly, and it's basically like around here and the handle around the neck here. But they're concerned what might be happening if the bear puts on weight. Can you imagine not being able to get that off? So they're hoping that they can catch her so that they can take care of it and get that bucket off the head. And there is a link, of course, so with a picture of the bear with said bucket. So if you see the bucket, contact the wildlife officials and let them know so that they can look for her. Do you remember when I told you about the woman that was sleeping in her Georgia home on her bed and she had a serval on her bed with her when she woke up? Loose serval. captured after jumping on Atlanta woman's bed. The African serval that surprised a sleeping Atlanta woman by jumping on her bed has been safely captured. The Georgia Department of Natural Resources confirmed Thursday that the serval, a large African cat, was captured near the Capital City Country Club, which is located on the border of Buckhead and Brookhaven neighborhoods. The serval is actually a pet. Now, they've not been able to find the pet's owner. I'm assuming that it was probably chipped because they said the pet's name is Nala and she was declawed and doesn't bite anyone. So, although it's not legal to have one of these pets in Georgia, they're still looking for a permanent home for this exotic cat. And they're hoping that the person who actually owns it will step up. But maybe not. And now we go on to an even better cat story. Tokyo has a new kitty. Digital billboard projects giant 3D cat over Tokyo. A high-tech billboard in Tokyo is drawing attention by playing the 3D image of a giant cat moving around and meowing for 18 hours a day. The 3D image is on a curved LED screen billboard situated atop a building in the Shinjuku, district. Shows a high-definition 3D video of the cat walking around, napping, and meowing from 7 a.m. until 1 a.m. each day. Crossspace, one of the companies behind the Shinjuku cat billboard, is live streaming 24-hour views of the billboard on YouTube, included during the hours when the display is switched off. The cat display is designed to draw attention to the new billboard known as Shinjuku Vision. The website promoting the advertising space states that approximately 190,000 pedestrians pass by the location each day. So you know what Jane is watching a lot of. The kitty on the billboard, along with other kitty videos. That is it for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to break in here now because we have one more item. Valerie's Cuddly Cat Crochet. This past week, YouTube suspended her channel. Now, she did appeal that and has gotten her channel back. But in the meantime, she lost all the subscribers she had previously. So there is a link down below before the links for the Watt Tarnation and the blanket that I have. And I hope you will go and resubscribe to her. She is having to release all of her videos over again. They've been all set to private. She's releasing them one at a time back onto YouTube. Because you can only do so many a day, before they think you're spamming. So, and everybody thinks this was due to the hashtag Christmas in July Fairies 21, people copying and pasting answers. Well, she had a giveaway that was going on the entire month of July, so maybe some folks had copy and pasted on that video, so they assumed she was spamming, doing a lot of spam, so they took away her channel. Who knows? Who knows what goes on with YouTube when they decide to start doing this kind of stuff? Could have been something somebody complained. There are a lot of people, if they don't win giveaways, are sour pusses. So they go and they report a channel. People are mean. That's why we need to be the change, not be so ugly. Alright, that's it. Go see Valerie. I will see you guys again soon. And everybody, have a blessed day. Remember to choose kindness. Love one another. And as someone said this week, if we expect our world to be the change, we have to be the change. See you guys soon. Bye.